showtime.
Fire and water, earth and the sky, mystery surround us, legends never die. Live here for the moment, lost in time. I can hear them call, they're locked within the crystal ball.
Hey everybody, it's the D-Rock 100 and welcome back to more of Pokemon Sword. Last time, we took care of everything else in terms of the Swords of Justice, and we even managed to find ourselves Keldeo in the process. And we took care of a giant squirrel and a Dynamax tree. This time, there's only one real left for us. There's one last thing for us to do. Jeez, can't talk today. We saw this from earlier, and I think it's about time and then we did something about it. Hey, Chief, my pillows caught your eye, huh? Your pillow. Oi, listen here, Chief. I got some wisdom to impart. If you can put your head on it and have a kip, it's a pillow. Unfortunately, I went and left my favorite pillow back at home, so I went to have a look around town for something to rest my head on. And I found this out back behind the inn. Can I have it? Come on, Fit! You want me to hand over my Ultra Mega Comfy pillow? That's a lot, even coming from you, Chief. What's that? You think my pillow's got something to do with a legendary Pokemon? Ultra Mega, seriously? It's just some old thing I found. But if you really want it, Chief, who am I to refuse? Alright, go on then, have it. But you better make sure you track that legend down. We get the wooden crown. So I'm not mistaking this as a pillow. A mysterious object made of wood. Part of it seems to be chipped. Maybe it's meant to be part of something. If you saw from earlier, we saw this. It's a statue of a Pokemon. Something feels like as if it's missing something. It looks like the wooden crown would fit onto the statue here. Do you want to try fitting it on? The wooden crown fit perfectly on the statue. That thing can talk! It's Pinocchio! No! Except it's not. Does it want you to follow it? Hello? Seems as if the mysterious Pokemon wants to test your strength. Do you want to ready a Pokeball? Let's do it. We have a hidden boss fight! Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to catch this thing, but I will be talking about it when we do have the ability to catch it. And somehow it why are you keep using Heal Pulse? And that was a critical hit. Jeepers. This creature is stronger than it looks. Boom. Nice theme music, though. Well, this was fun while it lasted. Oh well. Did you have fun? Oi, oi, what's up? I heard a big ruckus coming from over here. What's this now, Chief? Were you having a Pokemon battle? Huh? What a massive noggin! What's this? Yeah! I like how his hat's like floating behind his backpack. I never really noticed that, but oh well. Ah yes, a sturdy body, just as I expected. I hope he doesn't mind that I make use of it for the time being. Are you the Pokemon? Oh? I see how he grasps the situation already. Very astute of you. I am Calyrex. I am the one known as the King of Bountiful Harvest. I have borrowed this man's body in order to thank you in person, so to speak. Indeed, there are no words to adequately express my gratitude toward you for restoring my statue. In days long past, I reigned over these lands as king. The humans offered me their loyalty and respect, as I was able to bring lush vegetation to the land and give them plentiful harvests, year after year. However, it seems that over many, many years, the people of this land have forgotten my existence. They used to make offerings to me every year, but even that tradition has long since been lost to the ravages of time. You see, it is the faith of the people that grants me strength. And now I have lost all but a fraction of my former power. Even my loyal steed has abandoned me. However, you were kind enough to restore my statue. That act has returned some strength to me, at least enough to speak to you by borrowing the body of another. Now, kind-hearted human child, I have a favor to ask of you. I must know once and for all whether the people have truly forgotten about me. I wish you to speak to the villagers and ask if they remember the King of Bountiful Harvest. I have tried asking them myself to understand, but they treated me like some sort of fairy tale creature or flew into a mild panic at the sight of me. Please, kind-hearted human, I beg you to help me. The King of Bountiful Harvest. Calyrex appeared once I placed a crown on the statue of the King of Bountiful Harvest. Calyrex can apparently speak to humans by taking over a person's body. Phonies, in this case. Now we need to gather more information on the King of Bountiful Harvest from the people of the village. So basically, this Pokemon here is using telepathy. He's using in people's minds to speak for himself. Kinda interesting, to say the least. Feeling busy or doing absolutely nothing right now, huh? The King of Bountiful Harvest. Well, if it exists, why doesn't it heal the land around here so we can grow crops and for a change? Sure. What? This is plenty. Now we can bury the ore in our field and make our crops huge. Here are the seeds as promised. A bag of carrot seeds. We're going to want to remember this. Seeds to plant in a field. The kind of carrot you'll get is determined by which field you plant the seeds in. Don't go planting these seeds I gave you willy-nilly in the fields now. These fields are on our own crops. The King of Bountiful Harvest. I used to believe it was real, you know. I was told that if I made mischief in the fields, the king would steal my body away. The Pokemon King. Oh sure, my grand used to tell me stories about it all the time when I was a kid. An old fairy tale, that. Do you remember the King of Bountiful Harvest? Well, of course I do. It's one of the main tourist attractions of our Phrasington, after all. I imagine we would see more visitors if only the king were real. Well, I'm pleased to tell you, it's real. Some people just haven't turned around and just see him in the distance, but oh well. Ah, human child. I trust you're able to speak to the villagers. Did they say anything about me? They did, but it is as I suspected. Nobody truly believes them that I am real. It seems the people of this land have indeed forgotten the bond they once shared with me. Oh no, of course I'm not grieving. I am the King of Bountiful Harvest, after all. I know better than to count on humans to remember me. This proves beyond doubt that I cannot simply rely on human faith if I want my powers to return. If only my loyal steed were to return to me, I would regain something of what I've lost. Is that a Pokémon? Yes. The four-legged Pokémon that I used to ride all across the land. The very same Pokémon that my statue in the village was be riding. Alas, though in ancient times we spent many days together, dashing through the valleys and over the mountains of this land, my power waned, and I was forced to part ways with it. Now, I know not to where it may be. Even if we should succeed in locating my loyal steed, I have my doubts as to whether it has remained, well, loyal. I have lost so much power. Perhaps the villagers know something about my currently not so loyal steed. I would be in your debt if you could speak to the head of the village on my behalf. If you are able to find any information at all, I ask that you let me know. Huh? Huh? Chief? What a massive noggin! Or, wait, no, it's not. I must have fallen asleep where I stood. Sorry about that, Chief. Still, I feel strange. My body's not quite my own. Guess I'll head back to base and get some rest. Besides, it's freezing out here. So, I don't think we're going to be able to accomplish everything in terms of... The mayor's not home at the moment. He went to have a look at the fields in the giant's bed. You can go look for him if you're in a hurry. The fields of the giant's beds are to the southeast of the village. Go through Frost Point Field and just keep going to the left. As I was saying, I don't think we're expecting to complete the whole thing for this episode, so I might make this a bit of a two-parter. So, coming down through here, we were told that he's somewhere in the giant's bed. Now the question remains is, he's at a field somewhere. So where could this field be? This way? No, because I think that's the cemetery. I just hope I don't miss it. This way? Oh, this just kind of takes me back. Oh, yep, here he is. Alas, the field is no good either. The soil is barren. No crops could possibly grow here now. Perhaps the lands of the Crown Tundra truly are beyond hope. What's this? Oh, our dear visitor. What brings you here? You want to learn about the loyal steed of the King of Bountiful Harvest. Well, this is hardly the place for storytelling. Come to my home in Freezington. It's better to have a nice chat in the warmth after all. Please visit whenever you're ready. I'll be waiting. You know we could just walk together, right? And I do have a Cinescorch. I'm sure he can provide you with some warmth. Now me, I like the colds, but even I know that I have some limitations for this sort of thing. So let's come up here. Have you seen what's happened to the statue of the King of Bountiful Harvest? Its head has become massive. You say that's the way the king's supposed to look? Now that you mention it, it does resemble the design of our town's souvenir shirts. But you speak it as if you've seen the king with your own two eyes. The tattoo has been broken since I was a child. Oh, of course, you wanted to learn about the loyal steed of the King of Bountiful Harvest. Well, I don't know why you'd be interested in such things, but come then, follow me. An old book I read long ago said that the king's loyal steed was particularly fond of a certain special vegetable. But my memory isn't what it used to be. I can't recall what exactly the steed so desired. I think it's best that you search on the bookshelf over there if you want to find out anything more. That carving just kind of spun right there a little bit. So let's kind of do a little bit of some digging around in here. The king was a great Pokemon that brought abundance into our cold land. With the sweep of his right hand, the land would be blanketed in verdant grasses and blooms. With the sweep of his left hand, the fruit of the fields would ripen and grow heavy. A great crown of green gleaming, the king galloped across the land astride his proud steed. And in their footsteps, buds that would burst from the soil, and rich life was born across the region. And so we worshipped the Pokémon and paid it all due tribute as king. The horse Pokémon gave over its power to serve the king and gave it hither and thither. The two even became one for a time, combining their strength to create a force in a single night. This proud steed has been a wild thing once, ravaging the field crops and causing much woe. But the king, in all his greatness, brought this fierce creature to heel and secured its loyalty. And for each among us who claimed the steed's hide was black as the midnight gloomed, in which ghosts appear, there's another who claims it was white as a block of solid ice. None alive can now say which is the truth. We go into the reigns of unity. Through these reigns did the king spend his power in order to tame and control its proud steed. The reins, in fact, were made by the hands of the people, in thanks for the plenty brought to them by the king. These reins bound not only the horse and the king to one another, they bound the people to the king as well. At the dawning of each new year, we must never forget the king and forget to gift the king with his offering. Let the radiant flower and the mane of the steed be woven together to bind us all in faith. Let the secrets of this sacred art be passed from parent to child to grandchild and never forgotten. So basically saying, pass this message on from generation to generation. We have the hardy crops for the tundra. While carrots can be grown in the crown tundra, they have rather unusual growth habits. When grown beneath the heated snow, these hardy roots tend to develop into ice root carrots. We're grown in tracks closer to where many souls are laid to rest. Shade roots carrots and it will be your crop. Shade root carrots are a favorite treat for many ghost-type Pokemon, while ice-type Pokemon seem to delight the eating of ice root carrots. According to old fairy tales, the steed that the King of Bountiful Harvest rode upon had loved both of these berries. Or perhaps one or the other. Records seem to contradict one another, with some stories speaking of a white steed delighting in ice root carrots and others mentioning a black steed devouring shade root carrots. Interesting! Try the Virginian Snow Samba. Isn't it tough dealing with the cold here on the tundra, with temperatures seeming to drop lower and lower with every passing year? While it's tempting to stay indoors where it's cozy, don't forget to move that body too. Try the Fraserton Snow Samba today, and get your body moving to stay warm all winter. Lift both hands in the air, wave here, wave there, bow low, touch your toes, and freeze. Then up we pop to start it on once more. From a circle with hands, and don't be shy. The Snow Samba will keep you young at heart. I didn't realize that was actually meant to be for singing. Town records, tourism, and I don't know. Fraserton souvenir brainstorming sessions. Minutes taken up by this town's tourism lead. We got a lot of submissions in our last round, so our thanks to all those who contributed ideas. We settled on an idea for a new Fraserton souvenir sure to lure in more visitors. A shirt featuring our own King of Bountiful Harvest. By reusing the artwork from some old documents, we should be able to keep design costs low too. Interesting. So now we know of what we really need to do. You know, I'm really surprised in that Calyrex doesn't just come out and just present itself to everyone and just kind of just come right next to the statue. Looks so much better. Oh, hey there, Chief. Had a feeling someone called me. Was it you? Huh? Human child, were you able to find something about my loyal steed? Indeed. You say you found out about something that my loyal steed could not resist? It had been so long since we rode together that I had completely forgotten. With this information, we may be able to lure my loyal steed to me yet. So tell me, what is it that my loyal steed would find so irresistible? Carrots. Oh, carrots, you say? Yes, I remember now. Even back when we were together, it would leap at any chance to eat some kind of crop. It took everything I had to restrain it. Looking back, the crop must have been carrots. I am in your debt, human child. What we must do now is clear. If we are able to find carrots somewhere, it should be but a trifle to lure my loyal steed back to me. I wonder, do the humans of the village grow any carrots? If we can obtain even a single seed, I could grow a carrot from it myself. By the stars! You say that you have carrot seeds? That strange bag contains the seeds of carrots. You humans never stop adapting and evolving. I am constantly amazed by your ingenuity. And yet, the fields of the village simply won't do. They're not suited for growing carrots. If we could find rich soil, I could use my powers to grow the crops we need. Now, where might we find soil suited for growing these crops in this tundra of mine? Ah, I see two spots that might suit our needs. One is a field covered in pristine snow. Another spot is a field by gravestones, where those who moved on were laid to rest. Either of those locations should allow me to use my power and grow the carrots we need. Please, I ask that you choose a field and plant those seeds. Huh? What in the? I should be getting in the habit of falling asleep outside. I guess it just goes to show that holding down the fort isn't all that easy. You take care of yourself, Chief. Don't overdo it. Should we tell him, or should we just let him figure that out on his own? You marked the two field Calyrex told you about on your town map. Upon hearing that I was able to find carrot seeds, Kayla Redhickson told me about the 2 fields where I can grow the carrots. I need to pick either the field covered in the snow or the field by the graves and plant the seeds. This is a branching story path. Nanny! See the time of the King's Deed Pokemon. Oh, of course, my dear, I'd love to. I'm not gonna sing this. Now you make sure you eat your veggies too, just like the Pokemon in the song. Yes, Nun. Right. As I was saying, this is a branching story path. So, we have 2 choices. I would like to kind of go over this. There is a spot up here in the snowslide slope, a location we have seen a little bit of, but we have to explore the rest of this. Our other option is the old cemetery right here. Either one of these will result into pretty much proper story progression, but the catch is you can only ever pick one. Which is why I kind of thought about this for a little bit, and I've done this more times than you would think. In honor of the fact that I did this so many times, I'm actually going to go for the opposite of what I'm going to go for. I am going to go to the one down in the giant's bed. Or excuse me, we're going to go down here to the old cemetery. Don't worry, I'm going to be talking about every bit of this and that I can. But unfortunately, I will not be showing you any footage on this, as I will explain a little bit more later on down the road. Right here. It's one of the fields Calyrex told you about. Do you want to plant the carrot seeds in this field? Remember, we can only ever do this one time only. So I will go ahead and do it here. I see I've reached one of the fields. If you plant the seeds in this field, shade root carrots will grow. It's been so long that my memory is hazy, but I believe that my loyal steed would often partake in this sort of vegetable. If shade root carrots are what my steed preferred, it must have been ghost type, mustn't it? It's most vexing that I can't recall. I suppose we will see. I will ask but once more. Are you sure this is the field in which you wanted to plant the seeds? Very well. Then I ask him that you plant the seeds. Very good. Very good. You have been an able hand for working with soil. Now then, it's time I did my part. Let me show you my powers. Never have I thought I'd live to see the day that dancing isn't what's gonna make grass grow. Beautiful effect, too. You planted so many seeds, yet my powers can only get one to grow. To think that I have fallen so low truly breaks my heart. But soon it will be time to bid my sorrow farewell. Now, human child, I must ask that you pull that shade root carrot free with all of your might. We have obtained the shade root carrot. Produce that the King of Bountiful Harvest beloved seed who likes to eat. It grew in the gloomy fields. I believe in the ice root carrot, it grew in the icy field. Something like that. Well done, human child. That carrot will be the key to luring my loyal steed back to me. Now all I need are the reins of unity. They will amplify my power, letting me ride on my loyal steed with ease. But I doubt I shall ever get another settlement from humans in the village. Huh? What? Spectier! My loyal steed! Is it truly you? That glossy black pelt, that rough, violent gallop! It has not changed from the day we first met! Oh, how this brings back memories! It is my belief that while my steed picked up on the scent of the carrot, it cannot determine where the scent was coming from. Judging from the direction it ran off in, it must be headed to the village, in an attempt to pillage carrots there. If that is true, then Fraserton is in danger. Human child, we must make haste. Calyrex was able to grow a shade root carrot from the seeds I planted in the fields by the graves. The scent of the carrot lured Spectier out, but it ran off toward Freezington. We need to get back there on the freaking double. I swear to God, if I run into a wild Pokemon along the way, I'm gonna be upset with this. Because Freezington is in danger, dang it! And I don't want any obstacles in the way, except maybe taking a mint. And let me kind of switch it up with my Pokemon real quick, because I think, given what's going on, Blue Flare, you've been sitting out for this for too long. I think it's about time that we see you in action for a little bit. Wait! Galloping past into graves and into where the Shade Root Carrot has spawned from. We have the steed of the Headless Horseman, except not really. Spectier! This thing, despite what you would think at first glance, this thing is a beast. I'm going over this Pokemon right now, but we will be able to have a chance to go up against later on, but we won't be able to catch it here and now. Level 75! Pure Ghost type. Let's see here. Grim Name for his signature ability. Thrash, Double Edge, Disable, Nasty Plot. This thing. If you really want this thing to be a part of your team, you got to wait for a little bit. But I'm going over it now because, like I said, it's a tough boss to deal with. Grim Name, its signature ability. Upon defeating an opponent, it will raise its special attack stat by 1 level. Complementing that with that really high special offensive stat with that speed. Not much really needs to be said about that. The only real big thing to really be careful with is that despite with all of those incredible feats that it has, it's a glass cannon. And this thing with the use of any physically offensive moves isn't going to be pretty bad as it is from the start. That being said, it's kind of hard to work with. It only ever knows 2 ghost type moves through leveling up, that being Hex and Shadow Ball. Shadow Balls, of course, are going to be the best Pokemon moves you're going to go for this thing, but who cares? This thing is a monster from the night, and man, it's quite the sight to deal with. Just be careful, like I said, it's a glass cannon, and it can be a little bit hard to deal with if you're not careful. Galloping here through the icy field, it's going for the Icy Root Carrots, we have Glacier! This thing is beautiful. And honestly, probably the superior one out of these two. Level 75! Pure Ice type, Chilling name for its signature ability, with Taunt, Double-Edged Sword Stance, and Icicle Crash. But that Chilling name signature ability is similar to Spectiere's, except it had its offensive capabilities flipped, and unlike Spectiere, Glacier is probably one of the best defensive Pokemon out there, and one of the best offensive Pokemon in the process. Heck, even unlike most Ice-type Pokemon, where it's usually meant to be pretty decent in terms of defense-wise, this thing kind of takes that to a whole new level. Big, however, incoming. Its special offensive stats and its speeds are downright putrid. This thing is regarded as one of the slowest Ice-type Pokemon that you will find in terms of all classes, but that doesn't mean that it's bad to deal with. It can take a lot of hits, especially physical offensive moves, and it can deal them right back physically in the process. Just be mindful that it doesn't have some major weaknesses in special offensive moves, and it's not exactly the best thing to deal with in terms of that. All in all, not bad, but it definitely is what I consider to be the superior one out of these other two choices. And I believe, if I recall correctly, yep, you cannot attack. We cannot catch this thing. Okay, never mind. I thought it didn't have Hex, so I'll be correcting that in the bios later on. So, but at least I'm correct about the Thrash, though. I want to make sure that's also incorrect with Glacier as well, so I'll be checking that up a little bit later on as well. Alright. Are you alright? Yes. I feel like something stepped in to save me. Huh? A tuft of black mane hair. Mane hair that belonged to the King of Bountiful Harvest's beloved steed, Spectiere. The hair is very smooth to the touch. Oh, kind visitor, how could I possibly thank you enough for saving the people of this village? I had no idea such a vicious Pokemon still existed in the tundra. Why, it reminded me of the Pokemon in the fairy tales. The loyal steed of the king! But no doubt I am overthinking things. What is that you have there? Is that a tuft of black mane hair? In the fairy tale, it is said that by weaving the hair and the loyal steed together with a radiant blossom grown by the king, it is possible to create the reigns of unity which linked the king with its steed. In fact, it was my own ancestor who used to weave the reigns of unity, following an ancient tradition passed down over many years. Of course, I myself have never seen any kind of radiant flower, and the method of making the rain has also been lost to time. In any case, we could spend all day musing over fairy tales. I must make plans for preparations. That Pokemon could well decide to pay us another visit after all. Thank you very much for your help, kind traveler. Well, I think with all that said and done, we're actually going to go ahead and end things off from right here. Because I'm actually going to, like I said, kind of cut this a little bit shorter than normal. Because I want to make this kind of like a two-parter on this. But, with all that said and done, next time, we finish up with the King of Bountiful Harvest as a legendary mission. And hopefully we can restore the king and its loyal steed back together one last time. See you guys then.